In the 10th century, a scholar in Samarkand was building a fortress for the mind. While others relied solely on tradition, Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi believed that if God exists, reason must be able to find him. During the Islamic Golden Age, Muslim scholars faced the Dahriya, the materialists of the ancient world, who claimed the universe was eternal, uncreated, and purely material. Al-Maturidi didn't just quote scripture to them, he met them on the battlefield of logic. Today, we explore the architect of creed and his timeless case against atheism. The foundation, epistemology, how we know things. Before arguing that God exists, Al-Maturidi establishes how we can know anything at all. In his masterpiece, Kitab al-Tawhid, he identifies three sources of knowledge. The senses, our immediate observation of the world. Report transmitted knowledge, information passed down historical facts, news, and ultimately revelation. Reason, the faculty that processes the first two. The counter-argument. To the skeptic who says, I only believe what I see, Al-Maturidi points out a logical trap. If you deny reason, you cannot even argue for your own skepticism, because the argument itself is a product of reason. He famously argued that even animals use a form of instinctive reason to avoid harm, so for a human to deny reason is to fall below the level of an animal. The proof of origination, hudud. This is Al-Maturidi's primary logical weapon against the idea of an eternal universe. The logic. Everything we see in the universe is contingent. It could have been different and composite, made of parts. The change. The universe is in a constant state of becoming. Things begin, end, move, and change. Logic dictates that anything that changes cannot be eternal. If the universe has a state of being that was preceded by a state of not being, or even just a different state, it must have been originated, mudath. Al-Maturidi's logic. The diversity of the world's parts and its changing states are clear evidence that it did not exist by itself, but was brought into being by another. The proof of wisdom, hikmah. While the first argument proves a cause, this argument proves an intelligent designer. Al-Maturidi looked at the interconnectivity of nature. The argument. If the world came together by sheer chance or blind material forces, we would see chaos. Instead, we see a mutual assistance between different elements. The sun serves the plants serve the animals, and the atmosphere protects them both. The counter-atheism. Blind matter cannot choose to benefit another piece of matter. For different, independent elements to work together in a functional system, there must be a will and wisdom hikmah behind the arrangement. The refutation of self-creation. Materialists often argue that the universe is just the way it is or created itself. Al-Maturidi dismantles this using the principle of preference. The universe exists in one specific way. For example, specific laws of physics, specific distances between planets. It could have existed in a million other ways, or not at all. Since the universe has no will of its own, it cannot choose one state over another. Therefore, a specifier mahasi must have preferred its current existence over its non-existence. Imam al-Maturidi's approach was revolutionary because he turned the tools of philosophy against the philosophers themselves. He proved that atheism is often a denial of the very reasons skeptics claim to champion. The universe's changing nature proves it isn't eternal. The complexity of nature proves it isn't accidental.